111, this is your call to wake up. We are here to shift with you. In this video, we will talk about how to shift your language to increase your vibrational frequency and how to build up your gratefulness account. My name is Viviana.
I'm Sharon.
And we are Tierra Angels 111. Please click like and subscribe to our page so that we can continue making videos for you that will help you awaken, heal, and manifest.
When you become aware of your vibrational frequency and want to start increasing it, one of the first things you should take notice of is the language you use both with yourself and with others. Now, we're not talking about bad words, although they can be included in this depending on your intent behind using them. We're talking about the everyday language you use to communicate and connect. Once you're aware of your language, you can start to make the shift to a higher vibrational language. So let's break this down a little bit. Think about this scenario. You wake up in the morning, complete your morning routine, and it puts you at the top of your vibrational game. You got to meditate, set an intention for the day, and work out all without the kids or the dog interrupting. But then you realize you didn't put your keys on the hook by the door when you got home the night before. And the first thing you say is, God, I'm so stupid. Why didn't I put my keys on the hook? You've just dropped your vibrational language down to shame. You spend a hectic 5 to 10 minutes looking for your keys, the whole time berating yourself for not putting your keys where they belong, or possibly blaming someone else for moving them. You finally find them and head out the door and start to get back to that higher frequency you were at before. You put on a Solfeggio frequency in the car, you're breathing deep, and everything seems like it's back on track. But then someone cuts you off on the freeway. You have to slam on your brakes while he exits and doesn't even acknowledge he made you spill your coffee on your favorite pants. Here comes the anger, dropping your vibrational language down again. We won't even repeat what you said here. Pretty sure it's not something you would say in front of your grandmother. You spend a minute or two explaining to the empty passenger seat why that crazy guy should be getting a ticket and complaining about why the cops aren't around when you need them, and then you continue on. You get to work, things go really well for a couple of hours, you finish up some projects and even get ahead on some things, but then your boss comes in and she says she wants you to take the lead on the next project. You smile and accept because that's what you do when your boss says that. But inside, your inner dialogue and vibrational language goes something like, oh my God, I'm not ready for this. What if I fail miserably? And cue the fear, which we've talked about in other videos. You begin to panic and think of all the things that could go wrong on the project.
We could go on with examples on this. These things happen in daily life. You know, we know about these things. But I bet there are already some examples in your own life that you can relate to. So depending on where you are in the awakening process, that will guide you to see what part of vibrational language you are ready for. The first step is always awareness, right? Acknowledging the kind of language you are using with yourself and others. When you're aware, then you have the choice to pull yourself back from deep in sooner than you normally would. So, for example, when you lose your keys, instead of continuing to berate yourself for 10 minutes, you allow that initial emotion to sink in. You want to feel it. You don't want to just ignore it and repress it. That's not what we're trying to do here. But then you want to let it go. Okay, once you've learned that lesson, or you have fully felt it, you just want to look for your keys without the rest of this negative self-talk that you've been doing before. The next part would be to take another perspective entirely. And that would look something like you notice the empty hook and realize that instead of hanging up your keys yesterday, you knelt down to talk to your child about her day, his or her day, or to pet your dog who greeted you at the door and chose to be completely present in that moment, which is awesome, right?
And the same steps for increasing your vibrational language apply in the other scenarios as well. And pretty much anything you can think of that's going to happen in your daily life. Number one, be aware of your language. That's the first step, being aware. Number 2, make a choice to cut off the negative self-talk sooner. Number 3, accept what is and find a solution. You don't have to go into this long thing about beating yourself up for making a mistake. Accept it, be in the moment, and then move on to finding a solution. And then number 4, change the perspective. Give yourself a little bit of room to grow and think about what you were doing when something like that happened and move on from there. Take a different perspective.
Yeah, what if instead of cussing at the guy who cut you off for the rest of the drive, you send him calming energy to soothe his anxiety, stress, or anger that he may be feeling? Whatever it was that pushed him to make such a risky lane change, So what if when your boss gives you the lead on a new project, your inner dialogue said, wow, my boss must have noticed all the hard work I put in my last 5 projects. As you become more aware of your language and focus on changing that, then it increases your vibrational language to become more natural. So,
now, are these little hiccups that you're doing throughout the day really going to take your overall energy down every time you overreact? No, they're not. But it's not something you become aware. If it's not something you become aware of, then your overall vibration will stay low. Some people may think that when you go through an awakening, that all of a sudden it's sunshine, flowers, and butterflies. But the truth is that is when the real work begins. Change won't happen overnight, and you should celebrate the small steps along the way. We need to make sure that we're honoring and respecting all that happens for us, not thinking of it as happening to us, even when shit happens.
So when we say high vibration, that just really means that you are able to recover faster. So like you have high resilience and you can bounce back in dignity. So it isn't bad or wrong to be in low vibration. Being in low vibration just means that you're on the path to having high vibration. And all that means is that it will take longer for you to heal. People are on different paths, so we need to honor and respect that. Being high vibrational doesn't mean that you won't ever get sick. You can still get sick when you're on a high vibration, right? Because getting sick is really just teaching you a lesson. And what that means, though, is that you will be able to recover quicker. When you are healed, you're spiritually healed, you will act with dignity. So hopefully, you're treating others according to your values and not based on how you think they deserve to be treated.
So the other shift in vibrational language we want to point out is how you communicate with the universe, spirit, God, whatever your spiritual connection of choice may be called. I like to think of this as a universal piggy bank that we need to fill with grateful coins. I think I get this from working with kids for so many years because the idea is that in order to get a kid to do something or ask them something, you first have to fill them up with things you notice they're doing well. The ratio usually being 4 times that you notice how they're doing to 1 time of telling them to do something or asking them to do something. So think about the vibrational language you use when you're talking about your life and how it's going. Do you say things like, my life stinks, why is that guy always getting the stuff I want, ugh, I hate my job, why can't I find the relationship I want?
Those are all deficit statements and questions. If you don't have a good account of gratefulness built up, then in a sense you go into debt. And when you ask something from the universe, then the universe essentially says,
no.
So all you do is tell me what's wrong. So why should I give you good stuff, right?
So what you can do to build up that gratefulness account so you can make a withdrawal sometimes without going into debt, the easy answer is be grateful. But that's also the hard answer for some. So let's tackle the easy one first. So if you're going on a walk, use vibrational language like, I'm grateful for the wind on my face. I'm grateful for the birds singing. If you're at your job, use vibrational language like, I'm grateful for my coworker who helps me. And express that to your coworker too. I'm grateful for the copy machine working today. Because we all know sometimes the copy machine is not working. And we should be grateful when it is. But you get the idea. Just speak aloud or spiritually about what you're already grateful for.
What if you don't feel grateful? You may be thinking, well, I can say it, but what if that's not true? You may not want to say it because it feels like a lie or that it's not authentic. When this is the case, you start with the little steps. You don't have to lie and say that you're grateful for something that you aren't. What you want to say instead is, I would like to be grateful for ... And when you use this kind of terminology, you begin to look for things in your life that you could be grateful for, or at least okay with at that time. And as the time goes and you keep practicing this, then you will actually have things and find things all the time to be grateful for.
Another way you can use vibrational language is to say what you're actually feeling in an excited or happy tone. So, for example, if someone asks you how your visit to the dentist was, be honest. It was awful, absolutely awful. The hygienist gave me another speech about flossing, and I have to go back for a root canal. But say it like you just won the lottery, like this. It was awful, absolutely awful. The hygienist gave me another speech about flossing, and I get to go back for a root canal.
Woohoo! Not only will you get a boost in how you feel about your trip to the dentist by saying it that way, it will also be fun to watch the expression on other people's faces when you give them the bad news with your best kid going to Chuck E. Cheese impression.
The last technique we want to discuss is remembering being grateful. This can be in meditation or just a quiet time to yourself. Think back to something you've been grateful for in the past, or if nothing comes to mind, imagine getting something you want. The idea here is to remember or create that feeling of gratefulness, which adds to your gratefulness account and begins to help you reach a higher vibrational language.
It's like what you focus on, you get more of. So if you're focused on being grateful, becoming grateful, or remembering any grateful moments you've had, then more things will come into your life that you can be grateful for. And eventually, you will even be able to recognize that the things in your life you aren't particularly fond of may be what you are most grateful for. Because remember, we have to honor and respect all the things that we go through and that happen for us. All the bad things are there to make us grow and transform and shift. Because if we didn't go through hard times, then we wouldn't be growing. We would be at the same place we were at before. So we really need to be grateful for those things because that's what makes you who you are.
So thanks for watching our video. We hope that you can use this to become aware of your vibrational language and increase the way that you are communicating and connecting with others and yourself. Please subscribe to our channel to learn more about the shift and leave a comment below about what you're grateful for in your life.
We are Tierra Angels 111, and our deepest desire is to help others awaken, heal, and manifest.